Hi guys, it's me. So I realized that there was no MNV video today, and I also haven't been uploading many creepypasta narrations recently, and I want to apologize for both. I haven't gotten to writing out notes for my MNV this last week, and I'm currently writing a lot of creepypastas for this big project that I have, and then I'm planning to write for an even bigger project that I have planned for YouTube after that. And I just want to take the time to apologize for that. And so, to make up for that, I was going to tell you guys about Giggles's origin. So I came up with this character in early 2011, and I kind of got inspired to make her by thinking about what I was going to be for this camp that my church was going to. Every year we went to this camp that had a theme, and I hadn't dressed up before, and I really wanted to dress up accordingly for this one, which was my junior year in high school. And the theme was cowboy poker. And I'm not a big fan of cowboy style stuff, but I like card games. And one of my favorite phrases from that, not to rip off of Lady Gaga, because her song actually came out that year, I think, or sometime before. One of my favorite phrases in anything card related is poker face. And I really like the concept of it. And so I wanted to somehow dress up as a poker face, and then I thought, what if I made a person and I sort of called her the embodiment of a poker face? And so I messed around with makeup, which is something that I don't usually do. And I have this fedora that I really like, so I just kind of slapped that on and I messed around with makeup, and that's how I got that look of the character who now wears a fedora-like hat, and she has that kind of design on her face. Which I replicate with makeup, but for the character, that's just naturally how she looks. I drew a smile with black lipstick. I put a smile on my face, and I put like little stitch-looking things on it. And there's this expression that I can make where it kind of looks cheeky, or I don't know the expression used for that expression, but there's a thing that I can do with my face, a look or an expression, and you can kind of not tell what I'm thinking when I had all that stuff on my face and I had that hat and you can't see my eyebrows. And so I kind of had that design in it, and I called this character Poker Face because I couldn't think of a better name at the time. And so that was the first sketch of this character, and I went to camp with this, and I sort of had an outfit, but it's not like how she looks now. And what I would do was I acted as a casino dealer, and I dressed myself as the embodiment of a poker face. And I sat at tables, and the whole time when no one was playing with me, I was looking shady in the corner, and I was shuffling cards and stuff. And then when people sat down to play with me, I would put on this whole voice to add on to the character so that they really wouldn't be able to tell what I was thinking. And so I would say something like, if we were playing blackjack, I would say, you get 7, that makes 12. Hit or stay. And, I'd keep it going on, whatever applied to the game. And I'm actually not all that great at card games, I think, but when I was at camp that time, I sort of rocked. I mean, I don't mean to say that conceitedly, but I won a lot of card games in that experience at summer camp. And so I just kind of added that as a quirk to the character I was portraying at the time. And, yeah, the whole thing of her was that she's supposed to be the embodiment of a poker face, which is what I said, so you can't tell what she's thinking. And yeah, after camp, I just kind of left her alone. I sort of forgot about her for a little bit, this character. And then in 2012, I like to sketch up characters, and if I really like them, I give them some line art and then eventually some color. And then I think about making them into an animated cartoon. Of course, I haven't actually made one yet, and it's like my dream to make several cartoons and then voice act in them as major characters, or at least a lot of characters. And so I was looking through my big folder of all my characters and scrapped characters even, and I was like, okay, what can we make a cartoon from? And then I found Poker Face again, as she was called back then, and I was like, oh yeah, this character. And I was like, yeah, Poker Face is kind of a lame name, so I gave her an even lamer name. I actually named her Lucky, because it was the only name I could think of that was related to cards stuff. And then I kind of got rid of her old design and based it off of this vest that I got at a thrift store. It was too cool to walk around with casually, and it wasn't really dressy either. It wasn't very fancy. It was more costuming. and I didn't, it was just sitting there in my closet. I didn't have anything for that vest at the time, and so I was like, oh, let's just give this to Lucky, and I just kind of made up the design that you see now for her. And yeah, and the whole cartoon thing that I had planned for her was she's always been the embodiment of a poker face, and she's always been a casino dealer of some sort. And so what I thought of for this cartoon series that I was going to start was that she would be the casino dealer of the Fourth Wall Casino, which is basically just a little dark building that sits in the middle of this fictional and yet non-fictional dimension known as the Fourth Wall. And what would happen is, in every episode of this cartoon, four fictional characters like Harry Potter or Super Mario or Pinkie Pie would walk in, and they would sit down, and they wouldn't be able to leave the casino, seeing as thou Lucky at the time like has some sort of power in the fourth wall. She's sort of a glitch of the dimension, I guess. They wouldn't be able to leave the casino until they played against her and won. And if they won, then she'd let him go, and if they lost, then she would sort of take away their dignity, and their dignity in the cartoon would sort of be like an object, like it would be a little glowing orb or something, and it would be something that she sticks on her shelf or something. And then when the next time that anybody else came in and they won, all previous characters that had lost would win back their dignity. And I'm not sure what I was thinking about at that time with the whole dignity thing, but I'm assuming what I was eventually aiming toward was that when she took away this thing from the characters, it would sort of take away the appreciation and the love that people had developed for these characters themselves. So the characters would still exist, but like no one would care about them, or like they would barely acknowledge them anymore. They'd be like a character that nobody really sees as iconic anymore. So I thought it was kind of interesting. And then of course I never actually did get to this animated series. I just kind of left her alone, once again, all by herself, just rotting away in that folder of mine. And then toward the end of 2012 and the beginning of this year, 2013, I started getting into creepypastas. And it got around the time when I was gonna start narrating one, and so I was like, oh, I should make one of my characters that I already have into my persona, like the thing that represents this gimmick or this side to my YouTube channel, which is creepypasta. And so I looked up my character again, because she was the first one that I thought of, actually, because she looked creepy. And I was thinking, oh yeah, I could totally use this and stuff. And then I was thinking, oh, but Lucky is a really lame name, and so I needed something else to call her. Or well, I guess I should start off by saying that she actually does not have a name. This character has no name. She exists, yet she doesn't exist. But I needed something to call her. So I figured for those of you who've seen the pasta of mine that's called Welcome, which features Mr. Creepypasta, that's the first time that Giggles' name is ever actually, or what she addresses herself. It's the first time that her name has actually ever been shared, but it's not her name. So it's kind of interesting because like it's not her name, but she addresses herself as Giggles. So this whole thing with naming her Giggles was actually a nickname that my friends used to call me back. Well, actually, it was only one time, and only one friend called me this, but I really liked it. One of my friends once called me Little Ball of Giggles, Hugs, and Sunshine, and so I was like, maybe I should call her Giggles, and that just kind of stuck. And so the whole thing that stuck with that was you'd walk into the Fourth Wall Casino, and it'd be kind of dark, and maybe you'd be like, hello, you know, that kind of thing. And then all you would hear is like giggling in response, maybe quietly, maybe getting closer as time goes on, just like quiet giggling in response. That was it. And the whole gimmick behind calling her Giggles was that eventually you'd probably get sick and tired of it, and you'd say something like, look, Giggles, I need to leave here right now. And I was just kind of hoping that that was like a thing or a trend that would kind of just happen and start. And yeah. So that's pretty much her name, or well, it's what people call her. I could relate it to Him from the Powerpuff Girls, where Him isn't actually his name, but apparently his name is so evil that you can't say it, so they just settle for calling him Him. I can relate it to that. So yeah, that was pretty much Giggles' origin. Now I'm gonna tell you her backstory. Giggles is a very, very mischievous character, and once again, she's still the embodiment of a poker face, like what I said earlier. She's the casino dealer of the Fourth Wall Casino, which, like I said, is a little dark building in this dimension. And I thought she would fit in perfectly in the creepypasta community because should Giggles ever break fourth wall and, you know, say something like those few creepypastas, like, I'm like, hey, you in the white shirt, or and stuff like that, or say, like, hi, Jason, you know, stuff like that, I figured it would play really well and make certain viewers or some of the audience actually believe that Giggles was addressing them. So I thought that the whole fourth wall casino thing fit in very nicely, and she's definitely worthy of representing me on this creepypasta side of my channel. And yeah, so she exists in the fourth wall, and I kind of changed it from, instead of fictional characters wandering into the fourth wall, it could be like anything, like fictional characters or the concept of an actual person. Because then again, like, fictional characters exist, they just don't exist on the level that you and I do. So in a sense, Giggles really exists, but she doesn't exist in the way that I exist, and, you know, etc., etc. I think it's a really interesting concept. So if like a fan were to ever say, I want to go to the fourth wall casino, then all they would have to do is, like, pretty much imagine it, and they'd be there, but then they wouldn't be there, but then they would. So I thought it was fun. So it doesn't take much to get to the fourth wall casino. A fictional character or the concept of a person or the concept of anything really would just kind of walter in one day, or walk in, Walter, and they wouldn't be able to get out unless they played and won against Giggles. And if they won, then she'd let him go, and she wouldn't really, like, think anything of it. She's not a poor loser or a petty winner. She doesn't really boast, and she doesn't, like, sob or anything. She just kind of takes it. She's a poker face. You don't know what she's thinking. And if you lost, then instead of being taken away the dignity or something, I actually put she wipes out your existence. So she sort of takes away your existence, as, like I said before, she's sort of a glitch in the fourth wall dimension, and she has some sort of power where she can take away someone's existence should they lose against her. She can't do that on her own, just when they lose against her. So it's interesting. And then again, like, she can't die or get killed. I'm not sure if she could get hurt yet. I'm still thinking about that. I think I'll make that canon. You can physically flick Giggles in the head and she would get hurt, but she wouldn't admit it because you're not supposed to know what she's thinking. But once someone else walks in the fourth wall casino and they won, then you would be set free, because that's part of her thing, where if someone wins against her, then she sets everybody who was a previous loser free and you exist again. One thing that I kind of wanted to clear up about Giggles is that Giggles isn't really evil. I wouldn't call her good either. I think she's more good than she is evil, but other people would think, like, otherwise, so I guess I'll just put her as neutral in the alignment, where she doesn't kill for, like, reasons to say, like I'm a murderer, you know, anything like that. She takes out the existence because she finds it fair, and it's a thing in her personality where I don't think she feels emotion. She probably gets a gist, or she has an idea of what love and certain other emotions are, but she doesn't use it as well. And so she's kind of naive in that way, where she has the naivety of a Disney cast member or something like that, where she knows some things, but she's not, like, entirely like a person, because once again, she is fictional and you can't concretely touch her. You can only, like, she only exists in an abstract. So that's kind of an interesting thing to Giggles' personality. And of course, the last part, which I think would be the looks. I probably should have put this in the beginning. Giggles' appearance is based on myself. No, my eyelashes aren't actually that long. I kind of gave her those to give her more of a feminine touch, just to be kind of pretty about it, so she would be terrifying and pretty at the same time. I don't know. I like the idea of making characters that I can dress up as, should they ever become so popular on the internet that I could go to a con and be my own character and acting character and stuff like that, and people would be like, oh my gosh, that's Giggles, and I'd be like, yep, and stuff like that. I just thought that that'd be really fun. I do that with a lot of my characters. I try to make it so that I can dress up like them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Any other things that, like, Giggles is really supposed to be just monotone. Not monotone in voice, but I guess she, like, you can't tell what she's thinking. So in her voice, she doesn't have much emotion. I mean, she has, like, quirks to her voice, but I wouldn't call it emotion, because you don't know what she's feeling. It's just a different kind of, yeah. So I just want to disclaim, or, like, clear something up. Once again, all the fan art that I've drawn of her smiling or being sad, or, you know, smiling like with like an expression where you can tell that she's happy, or one where she's like extremely sad or something, just saying that's not canon. I just kind of drew that, and Giggles is out of character there. Like, she doesn't actually do that, so it's not canon. I just drew it because, you know, she's my character and I can. But the canon is that you can't tell what Giggles is thinking or feeling and etc., because she is just downright the embodiment of a poker face. And I think that's just the point that I want to get across. The most important thing about Giggles is that she is the embodiment of the phrase poker face. And that's pretty much how it started, and it's probably how it'll end. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, you guys. I'm so sorry this was really long. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and if you have any prayer requests, go ahead and shoot me a message. I would love to hear it, and I'll definitely pray for you. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye!